Hi, I'm Jenny Ray, the Managing Director of Management Consulted, and I'm here today to walk through specifically why consulting firms use case interviews from the consulting firm's perspective. We're going to walk through some of the nuances behind how they've constructed case interviews and what they're trying to test. And in particular, the first thing that I want to lay out is that consulting interviews are not about the answer. The case interview doesn't test your ability just to get to the answer. It's about the process that you go through. So that just will couch what we're going to talk about in 3 different areas today. The first thing that consulting firms are testing is, can you do the work of a consultant? Because you're going through the process of actually solving a real business case that the person that you are interviewing with solved at one point in their career, they are testing you on your ability to actually go through the steps that they went through. So they're going to test you in a couple of different areas. First, they're going to look at whether or not you can use structure to solve the problem. You'll start out with a big question. Can you break it down into smaller pieces? Second, they'll test whether you can create your own frameworks. They want to see, are you just the type of person who applies what's in a book, or can you actually personalize it and make it appropriate for each specific instance when you go through the case interview process? Third, they're going to want to see, can you utilize segmentation? Do you understand that every customer is not the same, that every geography is a little bit different, and that different parts of the business will function differently? Can you utilize segmentation to get at the real insights without losing focus on the big picture? And fourth, are you able to back up your qualitative assumptions with data? Are you able to identify a few key options as you're going through the process? And then once you've identified those options, select between them with numbers and data. So the first thing that they're looking at overall is, can you do the work of a consultant? That's what the case interview is testing by pulling a big picture question into a 20 to 40 minute format. The second thing that they're testing is, do you understand the role play of a consultant? Do you understand what a consultant's job is to do and how they're meant to act? In the case interview, you are serving 2 different roles. First of all, you are working with your manager. So you are the analyst or associate who's working with the manager internally. Second, you're serving the role as a representative of the consulting firm to the client. So can you play both of those roles well? Can you work internally with people? And can you also always have solutions that are ready to be prepared to the client themselves? Also, as a part of understanding the role play, it's really critical to make sure that you are leading but collaborative. Consulting firms are interested in seeing that you're the type of person who can take a lot of ownership in the role play, that even if you're inferior to somebody, or even if you're serving a client, that you're making sure that you are the type of person who's taking initiative. But they don't want you to take too much initiative where you're bullheaded. You want to make sure that you are collaborating as you're going through the process. So with both of these things together, you're trying to demonstrate that you understand what a consultant does in their everyday life, and you can play the role. Next and finally, it's really important that you understand that they are evaluating whether or not you would be fun to manage. And fun to manage means a couple of different things. So I'm going to lay them out. The first thing is that they might want to make sure that you understand how to simplify your analysis. They don't want somebody 1 month onto the job coming to them with 70,000 questions and with a whole bunch of different slides. They want to make sure that you're the type of person who can really get at the key issues quickly. So simplifying your analysis is incredibly important. Second, they want to make sure that you can explain your pre-existing assumptions. They want to know that they can trust the data down to multiple levels. So if you come to them and you say there are 27 areas in this specific thing that we're looking at, they will immediately ask you afterwards, well, what are those 27 areas? They'll want to know, do you have data to back it up? Do you have insight to back it up? So are you the type of person who knows when you're making an assumption and can back it up with some reasonability and some pre-existing information? The third thing that they'll want to understand is that you can think of the implications of your answer. It's always important to know that when you're recommending something, especially to a Fortune 100 or 500 client, what you're recommending will make huge changes inside their organization. People could get fired. They may need to hire new people. They may roll out products to their customers. There could be communication plans. There will be long-lasting and huge, potentially global ramifications to what you recommend. So not taking them lightly, but understanding that there are key things things that you will understand as a part of the process will help them make sure that they can digest the information and implement it successfully. And finally, it's really important to make sure that you are managing your own time allowance, because when you're inside a consulting firm in real life, no manager wants to be the type of person who has to check on you on a daily basis to make sure that your work is getting done. They want you to come to them, let them know that you are getting your work done and that you have a plan for each next step as you're going through the process. You know before you walk into the case interview how long it's going to be, 20, 30, or 40 minutes. So make sure that you are the one who makes sure that you get to the answer by the end of the case, not that you're relying on the interviewer to give you that. So, pulling all of this together, the case interview is really testing your ability to do the job as a consultant, to understand the role play, and also to make sure that you're fun to manage, which will really help you hopefully understand what you're trying to communicate, not just in answering the question, but also going through the process. So if you have questions about more information surrounding case interviews, make sure that you visit us at our website at managementconsulted.com.